So yesterday we have completed our portion. So let's start with revision. Today we will do revision of lesson number 4, Green Earth. Hope you people are having your workbook with you. So please open lesson number 4, Green Earth, page number 13. So once again we will revise this lesson. I hope I'm audible to everyone. Okay. I'm sharing my screen with you. So once again, my dear students, welcome to the online lecture of GK, that is General Knowledge, lesson number 4, Green Earth revision. So today we will see about the planet kingdom. Kingdom, we will see about water, sunlight, nutrients, and air. So in this lesson, we will see about water, sunlight, nutrients, and air. Now water. Water is a transparent, tasteless, odorless, and almost colorless chemical substance and covers over 70% of Earth's surface. So water is a transparent substance which is tasteless, odorless, and almost colorless chemical substance and covers over 70% of Earth's surface. 70% of Earth is covered by water. No known life can be without it. So, no known life means animals, birds, we human beings cannot live without water. So, we need water for many things, for drinking, cooking, washing. Yes, water is used for different purposes. In small amounts, water appears to have no color, but in large amounts, such as seas or lakes, it has a very light blue color. If you have observed, water is colorless. Yes, but when you visit a sea which is very clean, sea or lakes, it has a very light blue color. The sea and the lakes which are clean. Yes, so mostly they have very light blue color. Lakes, oceans, seas, and rivers are made of. So, lakes, oceans, seas, and rivers are made of water. Water has been present on Earth since its earlier days and is constantly moved around it by the water cycle. Water is very important for the life, probably essential. So, water is very important for the life. Sorry, my dear students. Sorry for the interruption. I hope I'm audible to everyone now. Okay, let's continue then. Once again, I'm sharing my screen with you. So we were talking about water. Water has been present on Earth since its earlier days and it's constantly moved around it by the water cycle. Water is very important for the life, probably essential. Water on Earth is always moving. It doesn't stop at one place. It's move. It moves from Earth's surface into the atmosphere and then returns to the surface. This movement is called the water cycle. So water on the Earth is always moving. It does not stop. It moves from Earth into the atmosphere and then returns to the surface. This movement is called the water cycle. However, some scientists suggest that by 2025, more than half the people around the world will not have enough fresh water. Yes, as we have seen, the earth is full of 70% water, but all the water is used for drinking? No, because oceans, seas they are salty. We cannot drink salty water. Yes. So, however, some studies suggest that by 2025 means 2025, more than half the people around the world will not have enough fresh water. As we can see nowadays, only we face many problems of drinking water. So, uses of water. Plants and animals, including the people, mostly depend on water for living. So we use water. So plants, animals, including people, are mostly dependent on the water for living. So we use water for drinking as well as for cooking, for bathing, cleaning, washing the dishes, as well as washing the clothes. So we can see there are many uses of water. We need water for many different purposes, as we have seen, for drinking, cooking, bathing, cleaning, washing dishes, as well as washing the clothes. Now water is used for hydrogen. Water is used for hydrogen during the process of photosynthesis and also keeps the plant from dehydrating. Now here you can see the photosynthesis. Water is used for the hydrogen during the process of photosynthesis and also keeps the plant from dehydrating. Photosynthesis is when a plant uses light, water, and carbon dioxide to create energy and food. What is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is when a plant uses light, sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide to create energy and food. Now, sunlight. Yes, from where do we get the light? We get light from the sun. All of you know when the sun rises in the morning, so day begins, our morning begins. Yes, then when the sun sets, again the darkness comes, the night comes. So we get light from the sun. The sun is the star at the center of the solar system. As you can see, the solar system, all the planets revolve around the Earth, sun. So the sun is the star at the center of the solar system. It is a hot ball of gases that gives off great amounts of energy. Life on the earth depends on sunlight. As you can see, the sun is a hot ball of gases that gives great amount of energy. Also, life on earth depends on light and heat of the sun. So life on the earth depends on light and heat of the sun. Sunlight has a very important job in photosynthesis. Plants can't survive without it. Chlorophyll can absorb light and turn into chemical energy that the plant can use. So sunlight has a very important part job in photosynthesis, and plants can't survive without it. So plants also need sunlight. So chlorophyll can absorb light and turn it into chemical energy that the plant can use. Since the sun gives off a mix of mostly red and blue light, these are the colors that chlorophyll absorbs the best. But researchers can successfully grow plants using artificial light in growth chambers, but sunlight is best for the plants. So researchers such as the scientists can successfully grow plants using the artificial light in growth chambers, but sunlight is the best for the it is best for the plants. Now chlorophyll is a green pigment found in plants. What is chlorophyll? Chlorophyll is a green pigment found in the plant. So as you can see, all the plants are green in color. Moving to the next is nutrients. Now nutrients are compounds in foods essentials to life and health, providing us with energy. Nutrients provide us with energy. They build the blocks which is used for our repair and growth. Means if we get hurt, so it repairs. These nutrients help us to grow. And also the substances necessary to regulate the chemical process. So nutrients are essential to grow. These are carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, fiber, and water. It is important that everyone consume these 7 nutrients on a daily basis to help them build their bodies and maintain their health. So next we can see the parts of the plant. As you can see the parts of the plant. So these are the carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, fiber, and water. And it is important that everyone consume these 7 nutrients on a daily basis to help them build their bodies and maintain their health. Now soil. Soil means mud. Soil is a major source of nutrients needed by the plants to grow. Soil is very important. It plays a important role for the plants to get the plants to grow. The 3 main nutrients are nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. The 3 main nutrients are nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Other important nutrients are calcium, magnesium, and sulfur. Moving to the next is air. Air refers to the Earth's atmosphere. Air refers to the Earth's atmosphere. Air is a mixture of about 78% of nitrogen, 21% of oxygen, 0.9% of argon, 0.04% of carbon dioxide, and very small amount of other gases. So there is an average of about 1% of water vapor. So air is a mixture of many gases, 78% of nitrogen, 21% of oxygen, 0.9% of argon. It is also a gas, and 0.04% of carbon dioxide, and very small amount of other gases. There is an average of about 1% water vapor. The two primary reasons plants need is air to photosynthesize, means to make the food. So air, the two primary reasons plants need air to photosynthesize, means to make food and to breathe. Plants need to breathe for the same reason people and animals must breathe. They need oxygen to convert food into energy. So plants need to breathe. They also need to breathe like us, like we human being, and also the animals breathe. Yes, they also need oxygen to convert the food into energy. Now parts of plants. The basic parts of most land plants are roots, stems, leaves, flowers, fruits, and seeds. So the basic part of a plant are roots, which grow under the ground, then the stems, leaves, flowers, fruits, and seeds. As you can see in the picture, down one you can see root. Root absorb water and minerals. Then upper part is the stem, which supports the plant to grow. Next we can see the fruit protects the seed inside in it. Then the leaf performs the photosynthesis. Then the flowers helps in the reproduction. So let's see the first part, roots. A root is a part of a plant that is underground. Roots are anchor of the plant in the soil. As you can see, roots are under the ground. Yes. So, and roots are the anchor of the plant in the soil. And there are two types of root. One is the taproot and another is fibrous root. The roots may be called the receiving rooms of the plant factory, for one of their chief functions is to draw water and minerals from the soil. So the roots may be called the receiving rooms, which means they get the water which we give to the plants. So where does the water go? The water goes into the inside the ground, which the root receive the water. Yes. So the roots may be called the receiving rooms of the plant factory, for one of their chief functions is to draw the water, means get the water and minerals from the soil, because it is present inside the soil. As rainwater filters into the ground, it dissolves the minerals in the soil. As rainwater filters into the ground, it dissolves the minerals in the soil. Let's see about the taproot system. A taproot is long, thick root that points straight down. So a taproot is a long, thick root, as you can see in the picture, and that points straight down. Smaller roots can grow out of its sides plants. So with taproots includes the carrot. Yes, carrots are also an example of taproot, and also the dandelions, the flower plant. So they have taproots. So the two examples we have seen. The carrots and the dandelions are the example. Have long, thick root which is present in under the ground. Next is the fibrous root. Fibrous roots are made up of many small roots about the same size. Means they have the same size. So fibrous roots are made up of many small roots about the same size. Example of fibrous roots are rice and corn. So rice and corn have fibrous root, and roots are made up of many small roots about the same size. An example of fibrous root is corn and rice plant. Now stems. Now stems provide support to the leaves and reproductive structure. They are used to store the food. Stems provide the support to the leaves and reproductive structures, and they are used to store the food. Stems store the foods. Leaves, as you can see, there are different types of leaves in shape, and also some have dark green color, some have light green color. So the leaves are attached to the stem. Leaves are the primary site of the photosynthesis in plants. The photosynthesis process inside of a leaf converts water and carbon dioxide into sugar and oxygen. So we have seen leaves. Leaves are attached to the stem, and leaves are the primary site of photosynthesis in the plants. The photosynthesis process inside of a leaf converts the water and carbon dioxide into sugar and oxygen. Moving to next part of the plant is the flower. Flowers vary widely in their shape, size, color. A flower is the part of a plant that blossoms. Flowers produce the seeds that can become new plants. So flowers are the part of plant which is widely in their shape, also different size and color. And a flower is the part of a plant that blossoms flowers and produce the seeds that can become new plants. As you can see in the picture, the flowers are of different colors and also different shapes. Moving to next is the fruits. A fruit is a part of a flowering plant that contains seeds. Fruits develop from a plant's flower. The skin of fruits may be thin, tough, or hard. So, as you can see, fruit is also a part of a plant that contains seeds in it. Fruits develop from a plant's flowers, and the skin of fruits may be thin, tough, or hard. So we can see there are different types of fruits are available in the market, and they are of different color also. And some have thin skin and some have tough or hard skin. Some are eaten without skin, means we have to remove the skin, and some can consume with the skin also. Moving to the next is the seeds. Seeds carry the food that helps the new plants begin to grow. So seed carry the food that helps the new plant begin to grow. It is a reproductive structure which disperses and can survive for some time. There are many different kinds of seeds. As you can see, there are many different kinds of seeds are available. So okay. So with the help of the water, sunlight, air, and process proper nutrients, seeds grow into full grown flower giving or fruit bearing plants, and trees are useful to human beings and also for animals. So we have seen with the help of water, sunlight, air, and proper nutrients, seeds grow into full grown flower, giving us fruit bearing plants. Trees are useful to human beings and also for animals. Now we will see water, sunlight, nutrients, and air. And so we have seen water, sunlight, nutrients, and air, which helps the plants to grow. Yes, as well as water is also important for us in many ways. Next, we will see plants in the desert region. So we can see there are different plants are found in different regions. Plants in the different regions. Vegetation region, scientists divide the Earth's land into what are called vegetation regions. So the scientist has divided the Earth's land into what are called vegetation regions. The requirements of different types of plants vary considerably. Some need hot regions, while others can grow only in the cold regions. So there are different types of plants are there which need hot regions, which need hot sunlight, and while others grow in a cold regions. Some needs more water and some can survive in scarcity of water. See, plants need water, but there are some plants which require more water and which require less water. So some plants need more water and some can survive in the scarcity of water. Thus, we grow the crops or plants according to the habitat in the different regions in India. See, in India, all the regions doesn't get the same rainfall. Yes, some part of India get less rainfall, some get moderate rainfall, and some get high rainfall. Next, we can see the contents in this lesson. Desert plants in different regions. We will see the plants grown in the different regions, such as the desert grown in the desert. Then we will see mountainous plants, underwater plants, then plants in the swamps. First, we will see the desert plants. Desert plants are those which grow in the environment of arid region where rainfall is scanty, means less. Their beauty is different from other plants. Desert plants are sturdily built. There are different types of plants which grow in the desert around the world. See, if we keep in our mind desert means only sand is, yes, we think about the sand only, sand and the camel, but that is not the truth. In the desert, plants also grow. Yes, there are plants which require less water also grow in the desert region. Their beauty is different from other plants. Desert plants are sturdily built. There are different types of plants which grow in the deserts around the world. So here you can see there are different types of plants are grown. Mostly the cactus are grown in the desert. So some examples of desert plants are elephant tree, as you can see in the picture. This is the elephant tree. Next, we can see the organ pipe cactus, which is very big. Organ pipe cactus. Next, we can see the desert sage, which is colorful, very beautiful. Then we can see desert marigolds. So this type of plants are also grown in the desert region. Also the saguara barrel cactus. Saguara barrel cactus. So these are the plants which grow in the desert region. Now, interesting facts about the desert plant. Desert plants are highly adaptable to the tough and extreme climate of the desert. As you can see, the desert regions are very hot. Desert plants are highly adaptable to the tough and extreme climate of the deserts. Desert plants store water mainly in their trunk, stem, and fleshy leaves. So desert plants store the water mainly in the trunk, stem, and the fleshy leaves. Desert plants, mainly the cactus group, can be developed in nurseries and personal gardens. So desert plants mainly found in a cactus group can be developed in nurseries and also in the personal gardens. They are ornamental plants which are used for home decoration. Such cactus plants are also kept in the home for decoration. Some cactus produces flowers. As we have seen the desert sage and the desert marigold, they produce the flowers also. Flowers of desert marigold are highly poisonous. Flowers of the desert marigold are highly poisonous. It contains poison. If the spine of barrel cactus accidentally pricks, one may need to take antibiotics to combat its effects. So be careful if you touch the cactus. So if it pricks in your hand or somewhere on your body, so one need to take an antibiotics to combat its effects. Next plant is the mountainous plants. Evergreen trees such as cedars, pine trees, and the spruce trees are common to mountain regions. Cedars, pines, and spruce trees are commonly found in the mountainous regions. These trees like the cold climate, which is why many Christmas trees farms are located in the mountainous region. So these trees, the cedar, pine, and spruce trees are found mostly in the mountainous regions, and these trees like the cold climate. So why that is why the Christmas trees farms are located in the mountainous regions. Another evergreen shrub found in the mountainous is the juniper plant. So juniper plant is also found in the mountainous region. Now, interesting facts about the mountainous plants, the plants which are found in the mountain. They grow beyond an altitude of 500 meters. They grow beyond and at the altitude of 500 meters. That location means mountain forests consist of trees that aren't found in the lower lying areas. Means they are found mostly on the top of the mountain. The trees have adapted to the cool climate, heavy downpours, and intense sunshine. Means this tree, the mountainous tree, has adapted the cool climate, also the heavy downpours. Heavy downpours means heavy rainfall and also the intense sunshine. Now next we will see the underwater plants, the plants which are found under the water. There are three types of underwater